Site.
Well, ready? Okay. I'd like to welcome everyone to the August 28th, 2024 Unionville Town Board meeting. We'll start out with a pledge to the flag, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible. Hey, I apologize for the delay in starting. We had a attorney-client meeting previously to discuss possible changes to town code. And with that, I would like to request an amendment to the agenda here to add that after public comments and further that discussion on the days here.
I'll make the motion.
Second on that?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay, thank you. One more amendment to the agenda here. I'd like to request an executive session, which actually, I was going to put that town code after the county surplus.
Business.
Yeah, under new business. The executive session is what I wanted to add after the public comments regarding a personnel issue I learned about yesterday in the library. I have a second on that.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. As far as the supervisor report, the roofs are nearly finished. They've assured me they'll be finished up by tomorrow. That'll free up the parking lot for the balloon festival here over the weekend. And the town clerk will have more information on that in her report. There's going to be a September 11th memorial service at the Burbank Firehouse beginning at 6 p.m. If you're able to come out and attend that, they do a real nice job, and that's something we really shouldn't ever forget. Also, I've received a number of calls recently about speed on town roads. I am going to be calling the state police and asking them to do some enforcement on our town roads. So just put everybody on notice, make sure that you're not one of those that's getting caught with that. And that's the extent of what I have. Board member reports, Councilman Welch.
All right, first of all, I'd like to mention I've been walking with PTOs at the recycling center. He's interested in if he could resume charging for refrigerators, air conditioning units. He stopped for a while, I don't know why, but he thinks it's a good revenue source and something important, I guess. Look into that further, but he made that request. Yes, we pass it on.
Yeah, I've also been speaking with him, and I think that's probably a good idea. And I think maybe make some other changes beginning the first of the year that we can discuss between now and then regarding the fee schedule.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's something we certainly is going to look at.
And other than that, I've been reviewing the town center something updates.
Okay. Councilman Cardellani?
Nothing to report this.
Okay. Councilman Derlin?
Nothing to report. Thank you.
Okay. Councilman Givney?
Stop by Time Warner Park this Sunday to take a look at the roofs. Very impressed with the install. Did some nice work down there. I've seen that they also added a cricket in an area where water previously must have been splashing on one of the walls of the building. So that was good to see that. The Parks Department pulled off the vents on the roof and cleaned them up and resprayed them. I thought they were brand new when I first went down there. So thank you to the Parks Department for that. It's good to see that the town is fixing the infrastructure, so it'll be around for many more generations to enjoy. Also seeing the drainage work up on Blueberry is getting started. So that's another good project we're doing. That's all I have.
Thank you. Yes.
Missed the minutes.
I did. I'm sorry. Yep. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of 7:17, please?
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Town clerk report.
Thank you. As you mentioned, we received a letter from Frank Castella, the president of the Chamber of Commerce. Did you want me to highlight some of those items on his report?
Sure.
Or,
Whatever
okay.
you feel is,
Yeah, it's pretty,
informative. Yep.
comprehensive as Frank always is, which is nice, but he added this year, as you know, that they offer discounted tickets through my office for Unionville residents, which I think over 50 people had taken advantage of the weekend access and then kind of a collection on the other days. They have added more bathrooms to the whole area. They added a drone zone. It's kind of like a tent and you can, I think, drive a drone through different obstacles, which is kind of cool. Very aviation related. Garbage cleanup is always a priority, and Frank personally oversees that everything is completely cleaned up, and he has always done that in the past as well. I think we've all noticed how clean the park is after. He distributed 118 letters compared to 72 for the surrounding neighborhood, to let the neighbors know what's going on and to let them contact him if there's any issues. Fireworks show will be from Legion each night of the Balloon Fest. They added an additional 11 light towers. Of course, all the insurance paperwork has been submitted. The layout is pretty similar to the past events. They will also have the bus shuttle from the middle school and elementary school relaying back over to us. And of course, as always, they have a briefing with Bill Beal, who's the Dutchess County Emergency Response Team. I think that is kind of pretty much everything from Frank. In my world, two residents, Mike and Heather Silas, I don't know if you know them, but they are both certified snowmobile safety course teachers, and they had approached me to hold a safety course here in Unionville. So we shared the link on the website. I think they already have 5 of the 20 seats filled. So it's mostly geared for ages 10 to 17. It allows them to ride without either an adult on the machine or present. Not really sure. I don't know too much about snowmobiling myself, but it is.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
register.
maybe I should register. But anyway, it is advisable for anybody of any age who does ride a snowmobile. So that is a pretty cool thing to have 2 teachers in town. And I mentioned last week, Habitat for Humanity is joining forces with us at the recycling center on Saturday, September 21st from 9 to 3. You can check their website for a list of donatable items, but they'll be there and you can bring anything you have there that day to help them with their funds. That's all I have.
Right. I just want to add to what she spoke of. You have one more day to get discounted tickets for the balloon
Yep, we'll be
festival.
selling them until 4 o'clock tomorrow. I think that the chamber allowed us to extend the sale time to this Thursday, which was really nice of them.
Okay, Highway Superintendent, I apologize for missing you last time around, Matt.
So, so guys, got one guy out. Hope everybody's noticed. He's doing a lot of weed whacking around signs, intersections, guardrails.
I've actually gotten some positive comments on that from the residents.
It looks great.
So I've got one guy doing that, another guy out mowing the roads. Been doing that probably for the past 6 weeks, almost every day. The other guys are now actively helping Clove up on Blueberry. It's what a project we got going on up there. It's coming along slower than I would like, but conditions are, the material below the asphalt is clay and mud. So bear with us, residents on Blueberry, we're working. Guys changed out the large pipe on West Clove Mountain Road that has been a problem for several years. It's quite a large pipe. I've got 2 trucks that are in shop now getting work done. One has got a people that don't understand, it's got a pinion bearing going out on the front end. We noticed a squeal in it last year and finally narrowed it down to pinion bearing, and it's being addressed up at W&W transmission. So we were the only ones that knew anything about that particular front end because it's all-wheel drive truck. The other truck, we lost a turbo on that, and, that's getting a new turbo. I'd like to, we could go talk to the attorney a little bit. How do we go about as a town abandoning some of these roads that are more driveway than road? Is that at all possible? Is there a procedure? What do we do?
Yeah, hi, for members of the public, my name is Joe Ariel. I'm with Van de Water. I'm filling in for Jim Nelson tonight. There is a procedure. It's in the New York State Highway law. It's a little complicated to explain off the cuff, but I can follow up with you tomorrow, point you to where those statutes are and what the basic parameters are. It has to do with, length of disuse, and how it's used, et cetera, but there's findings you have to make and it can be done. Yeah.
Why don't you put a list together for us to look at too?
It's a short list.
Okay,
If they're more driveway,
gotcha.
Talking about.
yeah. So, and it's expensive for the town to maintain.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah,
Somebody's driving.
Right.
Other than that, I think that's about all we got, other than, I'd like to thank the board for approving the purchase from the county. I think those two pieces will be very useful.
so good.
If we got them at price.
Thanks for keeping your eye out for good deals.
Well, Steve pointed it out to me, so give him some credit.
Good.
We also are piggybacking on the county bid for salt. It looks like this year our salt cost has dropped by $20 a ton.
Nice.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically $20,000 savings.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. Recreation Department.
So last week, we hosted our final week of summer camp, all of our summer camp programs. I want to thank all of our seasonal staff for working as hard as they did over the summer, and a big thank you to all the campers who attended. Our team looks forward to the next summer season. We anticipate signups for the 2025 summer camp season to be open around the beginning of February. Updates on that will be posted on our social media pages and sent through our email listserv on the Parks and Rec Department website. Today was our final day for the pool this season. I want to give a thank you to our aquatics director, Courtney Meester, and all of our aquatic staff for another fun summer at the pool. Without them, it's not possible. This week, we've been hosting our Thank Goodness There's Time More, or TGETT program for students in grades K through 5th. It runs from 8 in the morning to 6 p.m. Students have enjoyed hikes on our park trails, the pool, crafts, and games with friends. More registration dates for our full and half days for the 2024-2025 school year will be added to our website within the coming weeks, and we'll post about it on our social media pages as well. Our parks team has been working hard to get the grounds ready to host the 33rd annual Hudson Valley Hot Air Balloon Fest. Please be advised that the park office will be closed this Friday, August 30th, but the Parks and Recreation team can still be reached by email for any questions regarding park programs. Our team continues to work on planning the annual Oktoberfest event scheduled for September 15th from noon to 7 p.m. Tickets are $5 per person, and children 5 years old and younger enter for free. Pre-sale tickets can be found by clicking the Oktoberfest flyer image that's on the town's website. And we look forward to hosting this fun event for our residents, family, and friends. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Welsh, would you like to read the Parks report, please?
Sure. Park report for 8/28/24. Roof on the main park building has been completed except a small silo roof and the gutter and fascia repair on the back corner of the building. Roof of number 2 rental house has also been finished and is just awaiting gutters. The roof of town hall should be done by Friday morning, except the gutters. Gutters are a few weeks out. We have nearly finished brush hogging the area between the town hall and the equestrian center. We also brush hog the field between the town hall and Buzzkill Road so it can be used for parking during the balloon festival, weather permitting. A few trees came down on various trails and in the main park. They had been disposed of. Today was the last day for the pool was open, is now closed for the season. We have been cleaning up after summer camp ended and have been preparing for the Balloon Festival, which has kept us very busy.
Thank you. I did not get a animal control report. Library.
Thank you. Once again, to share some of the updates that are happening at Unionville Library. We would like to formally welcome our newest trustee, Eric Mulholtz. Mr. Mulholtz lives within Unionville, obviously, and he serves as a librarian in Kent, Connecticut. So we feel that he completes the trustee skill sets, and we're looking forward to organizing a reception in the fall for our residents to meet all of the library trustees. As mentioned at the last meeting, the Board of Regents sent our official provisional charter, so I brought a copy and left it with the town clerk, but they did a very nice job in putting the charter. It has everyone's names and a really, whoops, that's the copy, a really nice gold seal for everybody. So it's nice too, because I know several people that are here have asked, like, where are you at with the charter? So now it's like in the paper, so it's official. So we're very excited about that. Over the next year, the trustees are going to be working on the requirements that are set forth by the Board of Regents to complete all the tests that are required. We're also excited to announce that our website has launched, so it does link directly from the town website, but we're hosting it ourselves, so you'll see advertisement with our calendar, all the links that are available, the resources that are available, so it's easy to find Libby and the programs that we're offering, so you can check that out. And you can get it from the town website, like I said, or you can just go to uvlibrary.org, so it's easy to find. This past Friday, the library, thanks to Karen Foley and Susanna Hill, held campfire stories. Vinny was really gracious in helping us get the hose out there for fire safety. So we appreciate his support with that. We had several families from the area stop by to cook some hot dogs and hear stories around the fire. So that was really nice for our residents. And they were excited because they weren't aware that we had a library in our area. So I think as we hold more of those events and it becomes word of mouth, that'll continue to increase. Likewise, our social media page has really done a fantastic job this past month with viewership. It's increased by 640%. So you too can follow us at uvlibrary.org on both Instagram and Facebook. You'll see upcoming programs and other events that are happening in our library, such as on September 26th from 6:30 to 7:30, we have College Planning 101 coming back, and Stephanie will be hosting that once again. She did it earlier in the year in the spring. She actually lives within Time Warner Park, so it's really nice for her to give back to the library in this way. So you can email the director at UV Library if you would like to attend. Also on September 28th, I wanted to highlight a program that we're hosting between 12 and 1 in the library on journaling, in which Jonah Ritter, one of our trustees, will be organizing that program and presenting that to anyone who may be interested. We are always in need of volunteers. We do have one volunteer right now, but we could use more. So if you know of anyone, whether yourself or your teen might be interested, we encourage you to contact us. As students are transitioning back to school, we also are reaching out to anyone who has a child that is going through homeschooling, because we are interested in trying to organize time for other students to get together through that homeschool camaraderie through the library, using that as a gathering area for them. So you can also either reach out to the director or the trustees at uvlibrary.org, and we'll coordinate a time. So now that our charter's official, we have begun the process of interviewing for a full-time library manager / director. Karen has done beyond amazing job for us, but she had told me at the beginning that she did not want to work full-time. She was doing this to support us, to help us get to the next level. So we're excited. We have several candidates that we're scheduling for this month, and we hope for a smooth transition. Karen is very specific that she still wants to be involved in the library. She just does not want to commit to that much time. So we really want to publicly thank Karen for all that she's done. If you have been in the library lately, it's all to her that it looks as great as it does. As as always, if you don't have a library card yet, September is Library Card Month, but you can get one anytime. Stop by the library or email the director, and we'll make sure that you can come in and get a physical library card and or your number, and you can still have access to that if you don't have a physical card. So with that, are there any questions? Well, we really appreciate it. Thank you. We're once again giving us time to speak to the residents.
Public comment on agenda items, anyone? Okay. Brings us to new business. We've been approached by
If you
home,
want to go to the executive session. Yeah.
no, that would be at the end of the meeting.
Oh, okay. But you
Yeah,
wanna do it.
sorry. Yeah, we should go to that. No. Yeah, so you may have noticed banners in other towns that, of the hometown heroes, veterans that live in the towns. And we've been approached by them to do that here in Unionville, have Mike Marr and, Virgil. And we're going to give a little presentation here on that.
Thank you very much. Thanks for taking the time to give me a little bit of a synopsis of what goes in here. First, I'd like to ask, I want to be respectful of your time. I'd like to ask that we take a moment of silence briefly in regards to the 3rd anniversary of the 13 military members that lost their lives in the evacuation of Iraq, or excuse me, Afghanistan. Thank you. Again, thank you for your time. What we're proposing here to do is to bring in the hometown heroes banners, as many towns have done. I've met with Virgil here. We also met with Steve briefly. Thank you for getting us on the agenda to do so. In researching it a little bit and what my proposal is to start with, what we're looking for your support and approval to do is essentially start with we're a smaller community, so we don't want to jump the gun on anything here. But what I'd like to propose is that we start with the area here around Timor Park, the Park Road, and on Brusco out front here on the poles, looking at approximately 25 or so banners, utilizing support from the community, finding a vendor of some sort that can work with us, whether it's donated services or what, to actually hang the banners. Because my understanding is the town doesn't have the equipment to be able to do so properly and safely. But then also put out to the community feelers for participation levels on what we'd really need. My thought is, like I said, probably 25 banners to start with. And then we can grow from there as interest is seen. What I'm gonna. Well, so although I'm a resident of Fishkill, I'm actively involved with a lot of county veterans activities, both with the County Veterans Committee, as well as I also serve as the Director of Veterans Affairs for Assemblyman in WEPAN here with the 105th, and I'm actively involved with the VFWs and American Legions as well. The town of Unionville is extremely ripe for it. We, and when I say we, I'm talking about us just as the veteran community, are extremely appreciative of town supervisors' support and willingness to engage, as well as the town board. So thank you. Not all towns have these up. We're seeing more and more. But one of the things we've often found, and I've helped several towns, we've tried to get this initiative going, is kind of like Michael said here, that trying to move too quickly on putting these up can present other types of logistical issues and problems. Second, also want to make sure that one thing, at least on behalf of the veterans, while we all served, we don't see each other necessarily as equals. For us younger folks, we tend to give due respect to our World War II, Korean, or Vietnam folks. And a town like Unionville may be small in numbers, but you really pack your punch with the historical contributions to the nation's security, as well as the long legacy of military volunteering and contributions throughout the last century, including this one. So, one of the things we had suggested is that by reaching out to the residents themselves, it gives them an opportunity. Depends on how you all want to do it, but by soliciting them to present names, then you kind of work with them in tandem and, kind of make this truly a public-private partnership with them. So, like I said, I'm more than appreciative, so thank you for looking. And again, my vision, if you will, as I'm looking for support and input as well, is we do start locally here to the town center, if you will. By the town hall and Time Hall, which is, a great place. There'll be a lot of lower foot traffic to see the banners and whatnot. It's the most visible, and we have a lot of growth opportunity from there going out Brusco and into other places we see. But then also to have that, by starting now, we can get the input, get the banners done. Come springtime, when it's time to put them on the poles, on the utility poles, we'll be ready to act and have things going. They could get, maximum exposure. We first started talking about this, we were hopeful to try to do it this year. But I'd much rather take the time, work with everybody we need to, get the right parties involved and do it right come springtime.
I don't know, did you mention that the costs are generally borne by the
In
person?
general, each banner is sponsored. In general, it's a family that sponsors it for their service member, but businesses or strangers or whomever can as well. An average price somewhere in the neighborhood of $300 for a banner, depending on quantities and manufacturers.
Basically, what we would need to do is support the effort
Right.
and offer them the space to do it. The cost, they feel that they can find someone to donate a bucket truck to put them up.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm anticipating, I'm proposing this at zero cost to the town.
Right.
Either self-funded through whoever sponsors the banners, whether a business wants to sponsor a couple for people or a family wants to buy one for their loved one or whatever the case is. But no cost to the town.
I mean, I think it's obviously a no-brainer. Why wouldn't we want to push this? Why
Right.
wouldn't we do everything in our power to get this done?
Sure. Wanted to make a motion to have them continue with their project then?
Y'all make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we will work with you going forward.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Peter over at the Recycle Center had asked to hire an additional alternate person. Name is Timothy Latunde. Believe he lives in town of Washington. But there have been on occasion that when someone wanted a day off, they only have one alternate right now and he was not available. So this would makes it a little more flexibility for them.
Yeah. They definitely need some days off.
Yeah. So I'll entertain a motion to add him to the recycle employee list.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. As Ed mentioned, we have the opportunity here for a couple pieces of surplus equipment from Dutchess County DPW. It's a John Deere 544 loader, which I believe is the same size machine that's over there currently. It's newer and fewer hours. And then a John Deere 6330 tractor with a boom mower on it. They offered the loader to us at a price of $11,000 and the boom mower at a cost of $2,860 for a total of $13,860. I looked at funding with our bookkeeper. We have the line from sales of equipment previously, the surplus sales has 29,108 in it that we could move into our equipment purchase. And then once we get these machines to where we need them to be, we can surplus the ones that we have. And that funding would go back into that line, probably offset the cost completely. So if I get a motion and then I'll have the attorney draw up a resolution for the next meeting that puts us all in order.
All right, I'll make a motion that we proceed to purchase the county It's a mower and the loader. The highway department.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. I think this is a good deal for us.
Yeah, we've done very well with stuff we've got.
Right. Okay, so I think you all have seen the conversations going back and forth on consolidating four part-time positions into two full-time positions.
Wait, hold on, sorry, Steve. Were we doing the new business code change update?
That comes following this one. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, you're correct. I'm sorry. Yep, you're correct. In our, attorney-client meeting, we had a discussion on possible changes to the town code, and, we would like to, instruct the attorney to come up with verbiage on the possibilities of doing that.
Yeah, there's an application that gives rise to some consideration by the town board of various ways you can approach the project. It would require some attention to the code. There's more than one way that it could be addressed, and the board has made clear that it wants to make sure that any decision it makes has to be in the interest of the town in general, in addition to anything related to a particular project. So you want to take into account all of those potential impacts that the various options could have. So I'll prepare, Jim and or I will prepare for the board for next time, kind of the alternate paths that you could go in your code to address some of the challenges of this application, and also to be a good forward-looking change to your code if you're inclined to do it for the future as well, and not just related to this project. So I'll do that, and you'll have it in time to give it a good discussion next time.
Very good. Thank you. I don't know, do we need to have a motion to authorize you to do that, or? Why don't we do that? Why don't we just, authorize the
All
attorney
right, I'll
to,
make a motion, the attorney to proceed forward to make some proposals for road change.
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, now we get back to, the employee handbook that we've been discussing, where we were talking about moving 4 part-time jobs into 2 full-time jobs. Lengthy conversation with civil service and the town attorney, and we've come up with a resolution here that allows this to happen. Councilman Carlemi, would you like to read that?
Yeah, I'll start. Town Unionville, the following resolution, whereas the Town Unionville presently has 1 employee serving in 2 part-time positions, with deputy town clerk and land use secretary. And whereas the Town Unionville also presently has another employee serving in 2 part-time positions, with the confidential secretary, the supervisor, and deputy assessor. And whereas the town board of the Town Unionville is interested in consolidating positions as described above, so that the employees would become full-time employees instead of part-time employees. And whereas under New York State Town Law Section 30, position of deputy clerk, whether as first deputy or otherwise, is an appointed position, and the person serves at the pleasure of the town clerk. But the person appointed as a land use secretary is not appointed by the town clerk unless those 2 positions can't technically be consolidated. And whereas under Town Law Section 29, position of confidential secretary of the supervisor in a town of the second class is an appointed position, and if authorized by the town board, the supervisor appoints that person, and that person serves at the pleasure of the supervisor. But a person serving as a deputy assessor is not appointed by the supervisor, and thus those positions cannot technically be consolidated. And whereas the town board of the Town of Unionville is still interested in having one person serve as both a deputy town clerk and as the land use secretary, and clarifying those combined duties as a full-time position. And whereas the town board of the Town of Unionville is also still interested in having one person serve as both the confidential secretary and the supervisor, and as the deputy assessor, and clarifying those combined duties as a full-time position. Whereas the supervisor reviewed this issue with representatives of the Dutchess County Department of Human Resources, and to best ensure compliance with applicable laws and regulations, and and has obtained input from the town clerk about this issue. And whereas this is a type 2 action for secret purposes,
I'm gonna pass this on to Councilman Derlin, the second page.
Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Unionville hereby classifies the position of first deputy town clerk as a full-time position, recognizing that the town clerk has the statutory authority to appoint the person to serve in that position, and that position, excuse me, and that person appointed serves at the pleasure of the town clerk, and with the understanding that the person's duties will be defined to include the duties of and serving as the town's land use secretary. And with the further understanding that Emily Cole has been serving in those two part-time positions and will now continue to serve in this redefined full-time position. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Unionville hereby classifies the position of confidential secretary to the supervisor as a full-time position, recognizing and authorizing if necessary that the supervisor has the statutory authority to appoint the person to serve in that position, and that person appointed serves at the pleasure of the supervisor, with the understanding that that person's duties will be defined to include the duties of and serving as the deputy assessor. And with the further understanding that Michelle Reef has been serving in both those, been serving in those two part-time positions, it will now continue to serve in this redefined full-time position. And be it further resolved that this resolution will take effect immediately following adoption and filing of the resolution, and that a certified copy of the adopted resolution shall be attached to and become part of the town's employee handbook or personnel policy, as well as filed with the Dutchess County Department of Human Resources. And be it further resolved that the supervisor and bookkeeper are authorized to execute any documents necessary to change the classifications from part-time to full-time. And be it further resolved that the town board understands that this issue may need to be revisited in the future as these appointments are made or updated by the town clerk or the supervisor, as the case may be.
Okay, a second on that, please?
we have a discussion.
Sure.
I'm just concerned because this takes two positions out of the town board's control and gives them to the town clerk and to the supervisor as appointed positions instead of the town board. The town board appoints the land use secretary and the town board appoints the assessor, deputy assessor. So now we're taking that power away from the town board and giving that to the town clerk and the town supervisor.
Well, the last resolve thing.
Yeah.
Would address what you're talking about. This only works with the current personnel in place.
I understand. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So going forward, if there's a change in either town clerk, myself, or either of those personnel, this would have to come back to us.
Yeah, and I think, because listen, I don't think there's a huge issue with this currently, but if a person's working full-time hours, by our handbook, they're considered full-time, whether their positions are full-time or not. Isn't that correct?
The trouble is with the civil service, you can't have a person working two titles. And this consolidates those titles into one, which allows them to work all the necessary hours. So it's basically covering us on paper for
What's
we've
going
been,
on?
yeah, right.
That makes
And
sense.
again, like I said, it only works as long as these personnel are in place. And if anybody comes and disagrees with it going forward, it comes back to us to address it then.
Makes sense.
Okay?
Perfect. Thank you for the explanation.
Any further discussion? So we have a motion, it's seconded, all in favor?
Roll call.
Yeah, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Bartolome,
Yes.
Councilman Welsh,
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier,
Yes,
Councilman McGivney,
Aye.
Councilman Derlin.
Yes.
thank you all. Okay, couple meetings ago, we had been discussing our fuel needs contract. I have applied for an account with Paraco, who has the state bid on propane, and it looks like that's moving forward. I haven't had a confirmation on that yet, but the paperwork's been submitted. I have, however, heard from the company that, excuse me, handles the diesel and gasoline on the state contract, and they have declined our application. And then the company that does the fuel oil by state contract has never responded. So that being the case, yeah,
They're
yeah,
allowed to with golf.
No, but who's gonna listen?
yeah. Um, I did check with Bettini. In the past, they have had the county contract. Apparently, Dutchess County has gotten out of fuel contracts. But Bettini is holding an Ulster County fuel contract for fuel, diesel and gasoline that we could piggyback on. And it's set up in a manner that I was familiar with. I'd spoken about in our discussions.
Yeah.
They take the commodity price and add a delivery fee per gallon to that price. So it's a constant, based on that. If everybody's in agreement, I have the applications made out. I can submit them to Bettini. And then again, for 2025, we can put our own RFP out.
I think it's a no-brainer. They're gonna honor the pricing. Why wouldn't we do it?
Right.
Thank you for that.
Yep. So, motion to do so.
I'll make the motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? Opposed? Okay, thank you. Public comment on town issues. Name and address, please.
Chuck Richwine, 22 on the Green, Burbank. I just think you should look at putting some hometown heroes signs up in Burbank. There's a bunch of guys that were definitely in World War II, who lived in Burbank. I think that'd be a nice place. Also, people don't drive as fast in Burbank as they do on 82 and some of the other.
No, certainly under consideration. We want to start local and then expand from there if they're hoping the interest is there. Thank you.
And that's where Veterans Memorial is, so I think it's very appropriate to have them there.
I think we'll finish up here before we go to executive session and have a motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay, I'd like to move into executive session, please, to discuss that library personnel issue. I want to go across the ball.
I'll make the motion.
You folks are welcome to stay, but everything here has been covered and we won't be making any decisions on this executive session.